has went viral over a photo that has been displayed with her and Sandy Bardello. Yes, of the New York Liberty. There is a photo that is floating around, which we're about to pick up, and many people is insinuating that Caitlin Clark could be trying to plan the outs of Indiana.
The queen of basketball is now being courted by royalty, and Stephanie White is losing her composure after months of unsuccessfully trying to force Caitlin Clark into a rigid system, as if pressing a diamond into a cardboard box. White has finally come to the realization that everyone else already knew. Other teams have been watching closely, waiting for their chance, and are prepared to give Clark the respect she deserves. Leading that charge is the New York Liberty, who made their intentions unmistakably clear with a post-game recruiting session that has the basketball world buzzing.
There is a WNBA team that have been very, very, very much in, like, they made it clear that they want Caitlin Clark, or they're eventually going to want Caitlin Clark. Along those lines, they made it very, very clear.
Caitlin Clark, fresh off yet another injury from the relentless physicality that Stephanie White continues to ignore, sat in the tunnel at Barclays Center after the Fever's 98-77 drubbing at the hands of the Liberty. But instead of sulking over the loss, she was all smiles, chatting with Liberty coach Sandy Bardello, superstar Breanna Stewart, and Sabrina Ionescu as if they were plotting the biggest heist in WNBA history. And to make things even more intriguing, Clark's agent, Erin Kane, was there too, because when agents show up to these friendly conversations, it usually means business is on the table.
We're going to talk about this little scene that took place after the Fever game last night in New York between Sandy Bardello and Caitlin Clark, the New York Liberty, and the agent. The agent. That is what makes this so
That's what makes the moment so compelling. This wasn't just a casual post-game chat among colleagues. It was Recruitment 101, and the Liberty sent their A-team to deliver the message. Breanna Stewart, firmly rooted in New York with no plans of leaving, Sabrina Ionescu, a star committed to the Big Apple for the long haul, and Sandy Bardello, a coach with the vision to unlock generational talent rather than suppress it, all came together to make their intentions crystal clear.
And today, we have just seen the New York Liberty players, after the game, meeting up with Caitlin Clark. It is Stewie, it is Sabrina Ionescu, there is Sandy Bardello. And by the way, Stewie is not leaving New York the rest of her career. That is one thing that I will be 99% sure of. That Stewie is not leaving. New York. Sabrina is not going to leave New York. I think there is a 50-50 chance Caitlin Clark leaves Indiana after her rookie season.
Meanwhile, Stephanie White lingers in the background, likely haunted by every questionable decision she's made this season, like giving Natasha Howard more first-half minutes than Caitlin Clark. Choices that now feel even more glaring as the Liberty make their pitch.
One thing I like about the New York Liberty, they got a little run and gun in their offense. When I watched them the other day against the Aces, and Sandy does a wonderful job making that ball go. And it's fast-paced. They shoot threes. They allow Sabrina be Sabrina. She can shoot her threes. They're a very well-balanced team. They got a little inside, but they also got some outside too. And I can see why they won the championship. And I just hope that when Caitlin Clark feels and sees that, she goes, that's a good idea.
Like placing Clark on minutes restrictions that even she dismissed as silly and refused to accept. Like watching her franchise player go down with a fourth injury this season. All while ignoring the obvious connection between the relentless physicality Clark endures and the toll it's taking on her body.
By the way, Caitlin Clark looks unbelievably happy talking to these folks. But this is how it starts in sports. This is how it starts in the NFL. This is how it starts in the NBA. When you start seeing the wheels in motion, there's signs. There's signs before eventually a player gets traded. A player eventually marks their next destination. The Indiana Fever, you're on notice. You're on notice. You better recognize what you've got going on, the asset in front of you, and you do whatever you have to do to correct what is happening.
If you're enjoying this, make sure to subscribe. All season long, White has been determined to prove that no single player should rise above her system, repeating the same tired refrain about balance and team basketball, while her superstar gets mauled night after night. The Fever, meanwhile, continue to flounder without any real identity beyond having Caitlin Clark, and not knowing what to do with her. It's like owning a Ferrari and insisting on driving it like a Honda Civic just to avoid showing off.
I think the obvious issue is Stephanie White is so stubborn to fit a circle in a square peg instead of utilizing the strengths of the team. And she probably felt relief because Caitlin Clark was hurt, that, oh, this is my time, I can introduce the culture and the system. And some actually bought in. And then when Caitlin Clark comes back, she doesn't know how to use her. That's not coaching to me.
But here's where it gets truly intriguing. The Liberty aren't just another team hoping to lure Clark. They're the reigning WNBA champions, a franchise that actually knows how to build around superstars. They understand pace, spacing, and how to let elite players showcase their brilliance. Under Brondello's leadership, they've crafted an offensive system rooted in ball movement but flexible enough to highlight individual talent. The results speak for themselves. First in the league in net rating, first in offensive rating, and a style of play built to maximize players like Clark. Now contrast that with Indiana, where White has her running an offense that's the exact opposite of what made her legendary at Iowa. There, Clark was the system, free to pull up from the logo, create her own looks, and orchestrate the game on her terms. In Indiana, she's confined to half-court basketball, restricted in shot attempts, and forced into a rigid structure that strips away everything that makes her special.
Crazy is that her team lost the damn game, but Caitlin is all smiles. She's all smiles. She's all smiles. So many people is insinuating. They're insinuating that Caitlin Clark can be trying to get the hell out of Indy. Now, I ain't gonna hold you. Your boy John Liquidator definitely want her to get out of Indy, bro.
The numbers don't lie. Clark is averaging 16.5 points, 8.8 assists, and 5 rebounds per game this season, but she's shooting just 29% from beyond the arc. A shocking dip for a player who built her reputation on draining shots from 26, 27, even 30 feet out. Being trapped in a system that fails to maximize her range borders on criminal. Add to that the 11 games she's missed this season due to injuries, after never missing a single contest in her college career or rookie season, and the problem becomes even clearer. This is where Sandy Brondello enters like a knight in shining armor. A championship-winning coach who has guided superstars and built systems around elite talent rather than suppressing it. Brondello has the resume and the vision Clark needs. She's coached legends like Diana Taurasi and Brianna Stewart, and she knows exactly what it takes to let generational players be generational. And when she speaks about Clark, it comes with admiration and respect, qualities that stand in stark contrast to the subtle frustration that seems to seep from every Stephanie White press conference.
When I see a player get injured, and a player like Caitlin coming back, has had a few injuries this year. She's a great player. We've been good for our craft this year, but hopefully they get to see her after post All-Star, get to play again. As for the All-Star, I'm excited to get to know her a little bit. I think that's the part of the All-Star, is going to coach players that you haven't coached before and get them to know them a little bit and enjoy the whole celebration.